Yo, it's Jack here, in for Dino today. I have to start like that.
I know you do.
People expect it.
Where's Dino gone?
It's catchphrase.
I mean, let's be honest, he mixed up which week our holiday was.
Did you know this, Sam?
Even though it's been the same week for 6 years, we've always taken the week off after the grand final show, but he claims to have forgotten.
Not only did I know it,
winery.
Christine, I was unsurprised when I heard what had happened.
Unbelievable. Anyway, we made it through without him. We'll be back with him tomorrow. Wayne Hope dropped in. He's the half of the brains behind the fantastic new ABC series. You can catch it on iView. It's called Summer Love. It's gorgeous.
I love it.
Yeah.
Tony Martin joined us, and also very special. We had Ask Browny, but we also had Ask Tony.
Amazing.
So
And the one show.
you wouldn't have thought that there was room, but we somehow fit it in.
Sam, this may be
What?
your last show after the bosses hear your radio segment on a rival network yesterday.
Yes, it's
And
all
also
Just
over.
good to work with some people with chemistry.
We're bearing the lead. The best segment of the show was at 6:40 when we spoke about wet T-shirt contest.
Absolutely.
I think the Queen's funeral's in there somewhere too.
Absolutely.
I think it's connected. There's a wet T-shirt comp around the Queen.
There you go.
I think a new catchphrase for the show should be come for the humour, stay for the titties.
Enjoy the podcast.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. Welcome to your Tuesday. Welcome back, Jonathan Brown.
Yeah, it's great to be back, Swanee. The
we
first
are-
day yesterday, but we're back into it today.
We are one man down. Obviously,
Yes.
Dino is away today.
Why?
And in the most Dino story that there could possibly be.
Yes.
He's not sick.
No.
He's not unwell. Nothing
Dentist appointment.
untoward has happened. He's booked a holiday without checking whether or not he's actually on holidays.
When he came and told me this last
Are you
week,
serious?
I'm like,
Yeah.
mate, we have taken the same week off around grand final
Grand final week.
for the last 6 years. We take the week after.
Absolutely. We never take grand final week
No.
off.
No.
This is Melbourne.
Yeah.
And footy's back. Grand final week's back, so we celebrate it
No,
by
it's all
being on
good.
air
He's
with the
a
listener.
pistol. He's a pistol, though, with his diary. So he's away for the next 2 days.
He's back tomorrow
Oh, is
for the
he?
grand final
Okay,
breakfast.
there you
Yes.
go.
He's gone away.
So he legged
and he's
it-
coming back.
Correct. He legged it to Coldstream last night to a winery. He's spending the day at a winery today, coming home tonight to do the grand final show tomorrow.
He's such a funny flea.
I love it. I
love it too.
Now, just quickly in the Herald Sun. Grab the Herald Sun today because I love it when we see our man, Uncle Martin Pike, former premiership teammate of mine. He went to a function on Sunday. Now, have a listen to these names, would you? He's there with Wayne Carey and Glenn Archer
Yeah.
to see them reunited with Uncle Martin, holding court. Look at these names. The function was at the Pavilion, emceed by Billy Brownless and my mate Muggsy. Muggsy got a co-hosting gig.
Your cousin. Let's
My
call
cousin?
Him, he's a cousin.
He's a beauty. Matthew Richardson, Dermot Brereton, Stephen Silvani, Anthony Kotofides,
Big names.
Chris Johnson, Warwick Kappa, Campbell Brown, and Mick Gatto. Now,
Wow.
who's not going to that? Who's not paying money to go to that function,
Well,
Swanee?
look, to be honest, me. Me, for one.
I mean,
Can you imagine a conversation with that list of people and me?
Hey, there must have
know.
been
I would pay good
there
money
must
for
have been
that.
3,000 people there to pay all those names.
Martin Pike, I could have a conversation with.
Yeah.
Hell, have a look at
I'd
him.
have a few choice words for Wayne Carey. What a piece of shit he
bring a
is.
sniffer dog with you.
Doesn't
Gross.
Uncle? Yeah, I think Uncle
looks
Martin
well.
would be holding court amongst all those names. They'd be
100%.
all, I reckon, huddled around Pikey at the end of the night.
Cross-legged.
Just- cross-legged.
Yes.
At the altar of Martin Pike.
Correct.
What
I
a
miss
man.
Pikey. Can he come
What a
in
man.
soon?
I'm doing a gig with him on Wednesday. Can't wait to see.
Maybe he can come in after the holidays.
Yes, for sure.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
How good is exploring our amazing backyard again?
And ticking off all Aussie big things. Pineapples, bananas, melons.
That's making me hungry.
Head to whatif.com and start planning your big Aussie adventure.
What if it's Aussie for travel?
Well, the big funeral was last night. The Queen was sent on her way. Go well, Lizzie. The coverage was, I'm going to say, challenging. Challenging to watch.
Wrong.
And if we thought it was challenging to watch, then my thoughts and prayers go with those that were trying to cobble together a broadcast, an interesting broadcast with so little material. Here's Tracy Grimshaw trying to commentate the arrivals.
We're just, while we're talking to you, we're looking at live pictures of we're trying to tell you who's already there. Let's go back to Carl and Ellie for a moment while we wait for another bus to turn up.
Yeah. The story of our life, Tracy.
That laugh's like, thanks a lot, Grimmers. We've got nothing either.
So he just handles that. Yeah, that's the equivalent of hospital. That's the equivalent of a hospital hand pass on the footy field, Swanee.
Absolutely.
We just go, I'm in trouble, so I'm just going to handball it to you, and you're going to get smashed
You
by
can
more
solve
traffic.
it. Exactly.
And Carl's
exactly.
like, mate, I've done this for the last week from 5 a.m. till 9 a.m.
I know,
So
and they were
cheers,
all at
Trace.
different. Thanks a lot. They were all at different locations. Like I think Carl and Ali were at Buckingham Palace, and
Yes.
There's a lot happening. It's very humble, the Queen. She organised it all.
then she made it short, which was merciful. And then this happened as well.
Thanks, Carl. And we are standing here watching all of these people come in. We saw, as you just mentioned, Boris Johnson go in just before, David Cameron.
Nicholas
That's Tony
Sturgeon,
Blair.
Tony Blair.
And his wife, Cherie.
That'll be-
That looks like Gordon Brown in front, I think, literally going in the
Looks
door
like him.
as we speak. We're looking at the backs of their heads, but it looks like him.
It could be him. Looks like him. We'll go with it.
my goodness.
And here's my personal favourite. As we all know, there's a brand new Prime Minister, Liz Truss. Liz. I just love that the Prime Minister's name is Liz. And she did have a fancy blow wave.
Oh, did she?
Yeah, which made her clearly unrecognisable.
Who's this?
No, hard to identify. Maybe minor royals, members of the... I can't identify them
We
at this
can't
point.
spot everyone, unfortunately. They look like they could well be local dignitaries. It's hard to see. We're looking at the backs of their heads mostly.
But I think we are now getting to the pointy end, as they say, of the...
Stragglers.
I'm just told that was Liz Truss, the new Prime Minister. In the distance that we can see hopping out of that car. Well, thank you very much
They had him as
for that
low-level
information.
royals.
Yeah.
And then they had him part of the local city council.
Yeah, and then they said,
A
"Oh,
couple of stragglers.
we're getting down to the end here. No, nobody of any importance is turning up at this point."
the Prime Minister.
Sorry, no, I've just heard it's the Prime Minister. She did look different, though, don't you think?
did.
She had a really
I didn't see her.
neat platinum
Fresh
bob.
Turak.
Yeah,
blow-wave.
and
Really?
she did look different. She
Yeah.
did look different. I'll give them that. Plus, she hasn't been around long enough. For her physicality to become part of our psyche, like Boris Johnson or
course.
Gordon Brown.
Well, even the BBC, when they were going through the world leaders on their coverage, skipped over Albo and didn't know who he was.
It ain't
Yeah.
easy with Albanese.
How would they know?
Yeah.
How would they
It
know?
was like the red carpet. Sort of like the Brownlow red carpet was. As people were walking into the church.
Yes.
Fantastic.
It is. The equivalent there is, sometimes when you go on the red carpet and you're not famous enough, all the cameras are pointed at you and then they just dip down.
Yeah.
And you're just shuffled along. It's brilliant. But it was a big night
I
in
got that
most...
in the last couple of years at the Brownlow.
Mate, that's my first 5 years at Nova to the opening of the
Absolutely.
theatre show.
Doesn't happen now thanks to Daniel's
Obviously not.
Donuts. You're the Daniel's Donuts guy. Big night last night in homes across this Commonwealth. Everyone was watching. Millions of viewers there. They're tipping, tuned in for the funeral. We want to know how you celebrated. Tom Casamento, our producer, his mum's mad for the Royals.
Really?
And he's shown me photographs of the celebrations at their place. Last night it included a lit candle, a Women's Weekly, commemorative
Yes.
what is it called?
Edition.
With the Queen in her coronation dress. Fresh scones wrapped.
Oh,
they look so good.
They look so
Golden
good.
brown.
And the finest bone china
Yes.
teacups, which
Queen-
I'm here for.
Queen would be proud of that.
In this photograph, though,
It's a
she's
fair
not
spread.
drinking tea. She's having a champers in her souvenir Buckingham Palace apron.
With her son who's got a high-vis jacket on. He's just come home from work.
How disrespectful! He came theme dressed as Liz Truss, the Prime Minister. 13, 24, 10. Tell us how you celebrated last night, the event of the year, the funeral of the Queen. Kate Casamento joins us. Good morning, Kate.
Good morning, Chrissie. How are you?
Look, all the better for talking to you, Queen.
Well, yes, I am. Known a bit as the Queen.
I'm looking at a photo of you right now. Full disclosure, you're our producer, Tom's mama.
Yes.
I'm looking at a photo of you clutching a glass of sparkling and wearing a commemorative monogrammed, if you damn well please, monogrammed apron from Buckingham Palace.
Correct. Yes.
How long
Had
did
my
you?
name.
It's got your name on it.
Yes, had it embroidered on it.
And what else did you do last night, Kate, to paint the scene?
Had the table set with the tiered plates on the table, made ribbon sandwiches.
Oh, did you? I haven't seen photographic evidence of that. I love ribbon sandwiches.
The guillotine
Ribbon
out.
sandwich. One was with chicken with spring onion and a mayonnaise.
And a walnut in there?
No walnut. No, it didn't go walnut. And also went a nice curried egg.
Oh,
Yeah, I love a carrot egg.
Kate, and there was some freshly baked goods there as well.
Oh, yes, it's gone. Gone with some nice jam and cream. And also did get a pasty as well.
Oh, wow.
Nasty.
Now, you've got 4 kids. How many of them were on board with your Queenie celebrations?
Possibly only one.
Was it Tom?
No.
Oh.
No, it wasn't Tommy. Tommy didn't come to the party. It was my daughter Emily. She loves it just as much as I do.
I was going to say it wasn't the other son because he's in his high-vis gear. Looks like he's been on the work site all day. I would have disrespectful. I would have thought he would have shown more respect by dressing up in a nice suit.
Well, yes, that would have been nice, wouldn't it?
Yes,
That
it
would have been nice.
So,
But, look, it was a lovely evening.
I'm going to give
how
you
long
a
have you
prize.
been a staunch, like Sam Payne, you are a staunch monarchist, I'm guessing, Kate. How long has that been from birth?
Yes, from birth. My mum let me stay up and watch Charles and Diana's wedding.
Oh, wow.
That was actually interesting, though.
Yeah.
Kate, it's Jack here. What was your highlight of the whole ceremony and the whole broadcast?
I love the pomp and
The end.
ceremony.
Yeah, okay.
Did you recognise anyone coming into the service? Like, did you do a better job at playing Guess Who than Grimmers and
Tracy
Carl
Grimshaw.
Stefanovic?
No,
No,
not
nobody
really.
knew what the hell was going on. Once the
No
Royals
one
were in, we were out.
Absolutely.
Hey, Kate, you are a darling, and I'm sad for your loss, but I'm going to give you a $200 make-out meals voucher so you can take the night off cooking.
Oh, that is so kind of you, Chrissie. That will be
Make-out
a treat.
meals delivers meal kits with recipes by top restaurants like Entrecote, Mamacita, Easy Peasy, and more. You're going to have to bring your own Diet Coke, though, Kate.
I will. That's very hard to do.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Celebrations continue in honour of the Queen, who was 96 years old, Swanee. Over 70 years she was our head of state. And the Roebuck Bay Hotel over in Broome in WA had a very novel way to celebrate the Queen's reign and the Queen's life, Swanee. They thought they'd send her off in style. However, they've come under a lot of fire. They've come under a lot of fire when it was announced on their website. They are the oldest pub in WA, by the way, Swanee, if I haven't mentioned that.
The Wild West.
The Wild West. They're going to celebrate Lizzie's life with a wet T-shirt competition.
Oh, God. Are they still doing them?
How good. On the Facebook post
How
today.
good.
Join us on Wednesday night for a special wet tea in Oasis Bar to celebrate the life of Queen Lizzie.
Sure.
A Facebook post mentioned. Enter the wet T-shirt comp for your chance to win $750. Mate, I get my bath plugs out for $750. Can you believe
They are
it?
made of money. I would have won. I would win that.
Absolutely.
100%.
Of course you would.
In my new bra.
I was about to say.
Well, this morning you walked in, you said to Brodie, do you like my new high tits?
I didn't say that.
You
Listen,
did.
there
You
is
did,
something
I heard
wrong
you.
with that. I said it to Tom.
yeah.
No, I did say that,
Clarification.
but I didn't say it to Brodie. I said it to Tom because
Yes.
look, and Tom said, "Doll, they look like
Yeah.
Bolt-Ons.
He did too.
The new bra has done wonders for you. You look great.
They're amazing.
Yeah.
I love them.
Ladies, go and get fitted because your sizes change all the time.
I love the term Bolt-Ons.
Bolt-ons. They do, though. I know that you're a married man, but you can look at my boobs.
I can look, yeah, absolutely.
Look at that. They look like
my
Bolt-ons.
sister, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who needs to spend 20 grand when you
Well,
can just get a new bra?
They don't look
Far
like
out.
this out of the bra.
Look like chiseled in stone.
I
Swanee.
know, man. I know.
bloody
It's a
hell.
miracle. If I was in the wet T-shirt competition, I would get my T-shirt wet just in a wading pool on the ground because you're not allowed to wear a bra in the wet T-shirt competition.
No way, Swanee. And I love you mentioned that because the website, this article is fantastic. It goes into a full description of what a wet T-shirt competition
Give it
is.
all to me.
A wet T-shirt competition is typically where women are splashed with water in wearing light-coloured T-shirts without garments underneath. There you go.
So you get to see the bath plug.
Now, that's a little bit sexist because I was there one night at the Down Under Bar
A
in
little
Brisbane.
bit sexist.
The Down Under Bar in Brisbane, a backpackers joint if you will, and there was a wet T-shirt competition for men. And I believe, I'm pretty sure one of our boys, may have been Simon Black, not sure, may have been one of the boys, but I'm going to go with Simon Black, was in the wet T-shirt competition.
Is it still nipples or is it
six-pack?
underpants?
No, it was just with a white T-shirt on and just spray them with water.
Okay,
And the nipples were out, Swanee. You're just showing through the white T-shirt.
Great. I mean, look, that's, titillating, isn't it?
So I want to know, so man or woman, have you ever been to a wet T-shirt competition? Emma from Ringwood, how are you, Em?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
How did you go in the wet T-shirt comp?
I'm thinking it was actually the exact same West T-shirt comp that you're talking about now, but the price used to be only $500 back then.
Oh,
So
really?
it was in WA, was it, Emma?
It was actually at the Rowie in Broome.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, set the scene for us. Paint a picture of the pub.
I've got so many questions.
Oh, it's an amazing pub, lots of different sections. But on Thursday nights they have a big party out in like the open area, and there's a big stage, and you arrive. They give you champagne and they give you a T-shirt. You cut it up to the style that you want it. And then you go on and people pour ice water all over you.
Of course.
I love it.
Yeah, because you want those headlights on.
That's the whole plan, definitely.
Emma, I've got to ask you, so did you turn up with the intention to compete for this $500 or were you already there and you thought, yeah, stuff it, I'll give it a go?
Oh, no, there was definitely intent that night. I was living there at the time. So, and $500 cash prize, I was going for it. So,
Absolutely.
in order to win, I actually ripped the whole shirt off.
Yeah, of course.
And I think that's what got me over the line.
Probably would have. Emma, would have thought. Any regrets out of that, Emma? Like, is there
Definitely
something
not. Definitely not.
No way. Is there something you'd tell your kids?
100%.
Well, so you were there at the pub with not a stitch on and iced water being thrown at your breasts.
Yes, straight up on, and it's up on a big stage too.
And was
But
there
lots of
just
people
cheering?
enter.
Was it out of control?
Well, they actually based the winner on the loudness of the cheer.
Of course they did, Em.
Yeah, lots of cheering.
I tell you, you love to go to war with Emma. In the trenches with Em. Don't worry about that.
Emma, you should head back and have a crack at the $750.
Well, that's the first thing that I thought when I heard you mention it. I was like, I wonder where this is.
Hey, Emma, we love you. We're going to send you a GHD Gold hair straightener. Achieve a good hair day every day with GHD hair tools. Let's go to Karen in Brookfield. Good morning, Karen.
Good morning.
Karen, what year was it and how were your boobs?
1998. I was a fine 18 years old.
Perky is the adjective that comes to mind.
Turkey, absolutely. And you're talking to Miss Eastern Act, 1998.
It's a great honour, Karen.
What was the prize, Kaz?
$1,000.
Jeez.
God, that's a lot of money back
$1,000.
then.
Yeah.
As if you're not getting your norgs out for that, Swan.
Absolutely. God, I'll do it for
Absolutely.
$5. Karen, take us through the process, can you?
Absolutely. So, me and my boyfriend at the time, husband now, after 25 years, loved our car shows. We're at the Easter Car Show in Sandown Raceway.
Classic.
And heard it over the speaker, wet T-shirt competition, $1,000 prize money. Of course my ears perked up. And he's like, do you want to do it?
Not just your ears, by the sound of things, Karen.
So did the nips. So, he's like, so do you want to do it? I'm like, yeah, sure, let's go and have a look. Mind you, you've got to be 18 to enter. So I'm 18. He's 5 months younger. He's 17. I smuggled him in. We get in there. I go out the back to get changed into this white T-shirt, and there was a whole heap of spearmint rhino girls. So a little intimidating on my behalf. They're in a G-string and a white T-shirt. I got a pair of jeans on. So I thought, all right, I'm going to take my bra off here. I've never done anything like this. I've never seen anything like this.
You needed the edge, though. I get it.
They call the boyfriend out of the crowd, and they give him a water pistol, and he's got to spray my T-shirt. So he sprays it.
It's like getting the father to cut the umbilical cord of the baby.
I
I get it.
Tell me about it. Hang on, this is Easter Sunday too, yeah? We're yet to get home and tell the family.
Oh, yeah. Jeez. This come up during the wedding speech, did it, Kaz?
Of course. It comes up every function. Every function. So he's got the water pistol out. He sprayed the top. Obviously, everything's exposed through there. That wasn't all for me. Walked to the end of the stage, ripped the T-shirt off, swung it around my head, threw it out to the crowd. They erupted, and I clearly won.
Karen. What a proud moment. Hopefully you've got footage to have shown your dad, because I think any father is going to be so impressed with that.
Yeah, I think he is, just quietly.
Yeah.
All gave some, and some gave all that day. Well done, Kaz. What a memory.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
The podcast.
Morning, Melbourne. It's Tuesday. It's 7 o'clock. It's going to be 19 degrees today. Couldn't be happier, or could I? Because Sam Pang's here in front of the microphone.
How could you be happier? Good morning, everyone. Wonderful to
can't
see
be
you all.
happier.
John, Christine.
You ever been in a wet T-shirt competition, Sam?
What?
You look good in a wet T-shirt at the moment, wouldn't you, Swanee?
Have you got a small brown nipple?
I was going to say good morning, Jack, but now I've got questions to ask.
Yeah, you do.
answer. Do I have a small brown nipple?
Yes.
I've got three of them. You can have anything you want.
Three of you.
Hey,
Mate, you'd win the wet T-shirt comp for sure. Imagine that.
like a Bond villain.
Imagine if you came out with 3 headlights.
That's an
That'd be
unfair.
amazing.
That's an unfair
I think I would have
advantage.
normal-sized nipples.
really?
I imagine them small, because of course I've never seen them. I imagine them quite small.
And never will.
And- no,
Actually,
that's
you know what?
good. I'm
We've
all
still
right.
got a couple of months left to the end of the year.
I imagine them small and quite firm.
Yes. You'd be like...
We're talking nipples, aren't we?
Yeah, we are, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
That'd be about how I'd describe them.
in the wet T-shirt comp, would you do the old... the flex of the one particular breast?
Yes, I would.
You would,
Of course. What
like,
else?
like Stallone and Drago in Rocky 4.
Of course.
And they
What
both
hap-
give it a little bit of a flick.
Just anything to win.
What happened before 7 o'clock? What have you two been doing?
Well, here's a sad but exciting indictment on the quality of our listeners. When we asked, how did you commemorate the passing of the Queen, we got not one phone call. Half an hour later, when we asked, have you ever been in a wet T-shirt competition, full board. I'm proud of you. I've never been prouder of our listeners.
I told you Dennis Walter listens to the show. I told you he loves it.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
Hey, I know that the funeral was done. I would have thought, listening to this show on the way in and the lack of response to your call in, I would have thought, but I'm with them. At what point are you watching last night going, what am I watching and why am I watching?
I just watched the procession out of the church where they walked down to those arches.
Yeah.
Jeez, that was boring.
I saw
'Cause
that.
They were going slow. It's excruciating. Go, come on, boys, hurry it up a little bit. I want Kerry Saxby Jr. on that coffin. You know, like a fast march.
Yeah. Well, on a similar train of thought, the Queen's coffin travelling from Westminster Abbey to the long final journey through London was excruciating and needed a little bit of just something, a little bit of showbiz. Like, it's being telecast showbiz.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is a little bit of touch of the O.J. Simpson. You put her in a white Bronco and you say go and you get the police to chase
I like that.
You know what I mean? Just
Helicopters.
to spice things up.
I think here is a good place to give the email address for your complates.
Breakfast at Nova
what are you
100.
talking
Breakfast at Nova 100.
Where was the 96 gun salute? Did that happen? When was that?
I don't know.
'Cause hopefully they took out a couple of breakfast television presenters while they're over there. By the way, those shows. What are we doing over there?
Yeah.
Did you hear the snippets we played this morning?
They were wonderful, and they were perfect. They encapsulated perfectly what the broadcast was. Where white noise. And you're crossing to Tracy Grimshaw, and poor Tracy's looking at the backs of heads trying to guess. It was like the worst game of Guess Whoever.
I know. What are you doing?
She had more reason to be emotional getting left for that job about trying to spot the celebrity with the back of their heads than what she did 3 days ago when she started crying.
Just wanted to point out, meanwhile, on a rival network, Swanee, a little show called Have You Been Paying Attention was on. And
It's tough. Tough for rating numbers be down. Against the Queen's funeral.
Make sure you text them to me, will you? 10 o'clock, all right?
I don't know, to be honest, because, if our little litmus test is anything to go by, maybe not that many people watched it.
Really? That's a good point. I was concerned about the encore of the couch. Starts at 8:30.
Because it's 6:30 live.
6:30 live, so we were far enough away from the Queen. But at 8:30, when you're going head-to-head against the Queen, I'm concerned about those numbers.
Just a couple of things that if you missed having been paying attention, Swanee, that I learnt. That you weren't here last week, but Roger Federer's retired.
Yeah.
Yes, I did hear that.
He didn't say
41.
Yeah, well, whatever, because Tom Brady retired as well to spend more time with his family, and he was back within 40 days. 40 days, Swanee.
You're not going to report it until the cooling off period is over.
Absolutely, with all retirements, that should be the
good point.
What else here? Drama on the block, Swanee, last week after Foreman Keith found something in Omar and Oz's roof. I know. It was Michael Slater.
Not Conrad
No,
Sewell.
it wasn't. It was
It might have been
It
Conrad.
was the steady hand of Conrad Sewell, ready to go at a moment's notice. No, it was some ceiling joist. Is that right,
Yes.
Brownie? What else I got for you here? The Channel 9 new biopic, Swanee.
Oh, what is it?
Is about Warnie. Is causing some problems.
Oh, is it?
You think it's a little bit too soon? The family not overly thrilled. So that is in the news.
Why? I honestly don't understand. He was so open. What could possibly be in that we don't already know?
His daughter was really quite upset with it and took to Instagram because after Channel 9's upfronts, they announced it, and Brooke took to Instagram saying it's too soon. We find this extremely disrespectful. He worked for this network for so long, and you're doing this already.
Okay.
So that's at least that's a good thing. Channel 9 have also shelved their plans for the other biopic they had in the works. The late great Ivan Milat, gone too soon. So they're not doing that one either. Speaking of the Queen, Brownie,
that's something that I would watch.
A 100-year-old man from Queensland was in the news last week. You know why?
Why?
Received a letter from the Queen.
Ah, of course.
It would have been one of the last.
Exactly. Yes. I'm not sure. I'm not sure right at the end how many she was pumping out. You know what I mean? So that would have been one of the last ones.
The answer to that question: how many letters did she typically do a year around the world? Obviously, it'd just be for the Commonwealth countries, but how many 100-year-old letters does she pump out?
Do you remember Titus O'Reilly came in here last week? You wouldn't have been here, obviously, but he offered us a tidbit about how many people are over 100 in.
I think it was Andy Lee.
Oh, was it Andy? It was yeah, that's right. It was Andy Lee. 6,500.
Yeah,
in the world.
In Australia.
In Australia, there's over 100.
Yes.
Yes, Brandon.
Over 100. And they have forecast that in 10 or 20 years, there'll be, was it 40 or 60,000? It was a lot.
It's astonishing.
Yeah.
It was a big number.
Yeah, the advancement of medicine obviously is going to help that, but that seems like a big number.
I agree. Charles better fix his pen and his fingers.
Bit of RSI.
Signing a lot
seven
of
of those people over 100 do have shifts on 3W, you know that. Hey, I reckon if the other thing that may have been the Russian government is suing the Australian government over the lease of their embassy. I don't know if you saw this.
They won't have any over 100 the way they're going, the Russians.
No, they're also, by the way, not happy with us mixing vodka and passion fruit in UDL cans. That's the big one there, don't you think?
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
Of course, a couple of weeks ago for the start of the qualifying final, Collingwood v Geelong, and James Brayshaw, of course, opened the telecast. First bounce with welcome here to the SCG. Of course, it was at the MCG.
Oh, dear.
What a misstep. So obviously Sam just...
Is that a new segment of yours?
what a misstep. So paying as he does, he's nasty, he's mean. He took the piss out of his boy JB. Same network as well. You would have thought there'd be company policy. We don't throw shade at our own. Look after your own. That's what Sam Pang did on Front Bar, and obviously JB took offence to that on Triple M on his radio broadcast.
What did Pang say? Did he just highlight the misstep as you just did?
All I did was point out that in the recent AFL Media Awards that the best caller was given to Dwayne Russell and Gerard Whateley, and I just said it's a disgrace, a theft. I think I described it as, because Channel 7 and Triple M's James Brayshaw is the best in the business, in my opinion.
Yes.
And then played that clip. A little bit of, it's just a little bit of fun.
To and fro. That was the two. Was there any
Bad boy,
fro?
yeah.
Was there any fro? Did
Yes.
James Brayshaw say anything in return?
Well, they weren't happy.
Didn't seem as happy as I thought.
It didn't go down that well, Swanee. So anyway, yesterday, somehow they got our man over on the Rival Network. They got our man, Sam
the studio.
Payne, who made a appearance with JB and William. Oh, you can't say that, William.
William!
You haven't.
Who raised you?
I was part of I was doing front bar publicity and also the comedians. No, it wasn't just the, pop
I
over.
can't believe that you went in live in studio. We're lucky that you do that for us.
Exactly right. Did you run that by our bosses? Who gave you the tick of approval to go over that Rival Network?
Well, mate, I don't want to. You'd think that I had to ask permission from someone. I'm an adult. I'm a
Lachlan
grown man.
Murdoch, you would have gone to.
Samuel.
Jack said it was fine.
Jack said it was fine.
Under the bus.
I was going to say, wait till I get a call now at 9:05.
No, no one knew anything about it because I do what I want. I was terrified walking in.
Of
I was
course.
terrified walking in.
Did you say, great to be here, William? How are you, William?
I was. It was very nice studios over there.
Do we
too,
have
by
any
the way.
audio of?
No, we've got to
why would
because the famous segment, the famous part of the show. It's not that great, not that great a quality. Billy Boy does his joke. Billy Boy does his joke of the day. So, of
funny
course,
man, Bill.
this is it'd be a very nervous time running a joke past Sam Payne because we know how much he hates jokes.
Absolutely.
So here goes Billy's attempt to make Sam laugh yesterday.
Why do French eat snails?
Why do French eat snails, Bill?
They don't like fast food.
That's it. He leaves no option.
Say something.
I would have gone with plastic, Bill. See that? It's good to be on a show with a bit of support, you know what I mean?
Want to see what happens in the studio? Check it out on Facebook. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Day 2 of school holidays, and it's not going well. It's not going well at my place. I booked my 2 little ones into like a day camp to learn how to be like music producers, mixing and stuff. I thought that would be really fun. And my kids have a tendency to not enjoy leaving the house. I don't know if you've got kids like that. Mine are very much like that. So I was surprised yesterday morning when the babysitter said, "I've dropped them there. They've gone. They've gone to the camp." And I thought, wow, that's amazing. 3:30, I went to pick them up. They stayed the whole day. I couldn't believe it. Went to pick them up at 3:30, and there's lots of little kids milling around, parents picking them up. And I parked the car with some trepidation thinking, have I done the right thing here? They're going to be mad with me. I've made them live a life, and I shouldn't. I should allow them to stay at home and watch TikTok and listen to Running Up That Hill.
Did you run it past them before you booked them in for this?
Yes, I did. I said, what do you think about this? And they said yes. Ooh. And then the day before, Peg said, I'm having second thoughts. I said, well, you can't have second thoughts.
How did you frame it? Did you say, I've got, would you like to go to this, whatever it is?
Yeah, I said the school holidays are long and there's going to be days where there's absolutely nothing in the offing.
Or did you just say, how do you feel about Mummy not being with you for 6.5 hours? Do you know that one? Do they see through that or not?
No, I don't. I'm not an honest mother, Sam. I did sell it and they went. But I parked the car yesterday, 3:30. I was on time. It was good, Mummy. I was walking through the school. It's always weird when these school camps are on. They're in schools that are closed for the normal kids. Yeah. So it's this weird sort of zombie feeling. Yeah. And
go over to the taps, did you? Get some water?
Yeah, the bubblers. Yeah,
some sticks
went
in
over
them.
to the bubblers. Yeah. I always nearly chipped my tooth on those, and then they put in the guard for idiots like me. Anyway, walking through the car park, lots of kids enjoying themselves, coming out, happy to see their parents, fresh from learning, the joy of learning. And then I just spot in the distance Peg. Just watching me darkly as I approach, and her eyes and my eyes, and we're just locked in on each other. And I'm like, "Hi, it's great to see you." And her face was unflinching, and she just came close enough for me to hear her. And she goes, I'm not coming back here tomorrow.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Wayne Hope, an actor, writer and director known for Aussie classics like Upper Middle Bogan, The Librarians and his portrayal of Wayne Kerrigan in The Castle. His new show, Though Summer Love, could be his best yet. Catch it Wednesdays 9pm on ABC and ABC iView. Here's Wayne.
Welcome, Wayne.
Good morning.
What a thrill to meet you. I'm absolutely loving Summer Love.
Oh, great. Thank you very much.
I love the concept. In case you haven't watched it, you can watch it on ABC iView. There's 3 episodes there, as far as I remember, although...
Hopefully, if they're doing their job, and sometimes they're a bit sloppy on the tech.
Good.
So they might, but hope there should be 3.
Well, there looked like there were 3 last night,
Right.
and they're all excellent, and the concept is so fabulous. It's an Airbnb house, and all the stories that occur with the people that are hiring that house. Did this come to you while you were staying at a Airbnb?
Well, it came to us to sort of start of the pandemic. We were, Robin Butler, my partner in crime, were working on writing another show.
Yeah.
And it was about death. So not a great topic to be plundering during that time.
Heavy.
And one day Robin said, I hate this. And I said, so do I. And she said, what about that idea about setting a story in a holiday house down the coast? And I loved it. And it was where did we want to be in that point?
Yeah.
Down the coast in a holiday house, summer. We gave it the theme, an overarching theme of love, because we wanted something kind of warm and uplifting. Yeah. But we'd been visiting that surf coast down there, down Aries Inlet, down that magnificent Great Ocean Road for 20 years. So we basically, write what you know. It's
so satisfying when the second episode comes around and you realise that the great Rick Davies and Miranda Tapsell are in the same house. You're like, oh my God, I get this. Because my favourite thing to read at any hire house that I go to is the guest book.
Isn't it great?
And I often go, I wonder what Lionel and Rita are like.
Yeah, absolutely. Robin obsesses over that.
Oh,
and she'll
I love it.
I know half the week that we're staying is her just talking about Lionel.
Me too.
I'm getting the vibe that they were fighting.
Yes.
Because of the
You give him a bit of backstory.
Yeah, it's just pads it right
And
out.
I'm like, Lionel smells a bit like scalp, and he's got long chest hair, I think. I've never met anybody that wants to play that game. I've got to meet Robin properly.
Oh, yeah, she will be banging.
So you and Robin, obviously you and Robin was in here a couple of weeks ago. And
Yeah, and I was away, sadly.
Yeah. No, we're giving the show two plugs because we love you both. But when you work together, when you go on holiday, how much time you spend together? Or is it, you just go separate ways?
They go to separate locations.
How does that work?
No, we do separate holidays and separate radio shows. That's separate radio spots. That's the 2 things we don't do.
And the rules are you don't tell each other where you're going.
That's right.
No, we're ridiculously
in
all
love.
in. Look, we spend a lot of time with each other. And look, we like the same things. We met doing this. We met working on a show. Robin wrote a show for the Comedy Channel a million years ago, and I got cast playing her husband. It's as tragic as that. And
I read a beautiful story that she wrote about you and her falling in love.
Was that in the Guardian?
It was on a toilet wall. It was classy. It was classy, mate. Don't worry.
She's a bit long form in the toilet. I can't really,
And I enjoyed it.
I'm a bit disappointed you're not in your lycra today, because I think tomorrow night's episode might be making
Brownie's all over this,
in the.
by the way, He's all over.
I've watched the episode. It's fantastic.
I'm in the
But
lycra.
You do seem to love the
Do I cut
lycra.
it? It's a big risk.
You're impressive in the lycra. Now, is that a portrayal of you in real life, strutting around the streets in lycra?
Not at all, but Robin and I, we wrote an episode together and we're in it together, and I came up with a character that I thought, what's the thing that would repulse Robin the most? And that would be me walking into a kitchen, and it started with the sound of those shoes, the cycle. I'm not a cyclist or whatever, but I just love that click, click, click.
They're like cleats or something,
But just men looking like nothing's going on. I'm waddling awkwardly and I'm clicking.
They sound like Fred Astaire.
Yeah, but it's all fine. It's normal. I'm having a coffee on the Esplanade, and doing that. So I went with the lycra, and I loved going into the shop to buy the the lycra where I explained the character. I said, I'm a 50-something tragic who's split up from his wife and he's come in to buy all the gear and drop and he said, I get 3 of you a week. 50-something guys that spend, these bikes cost $16,000.
What? Do they?
Yeah, and they come in, he said, I get 3 of you a week. They're a midlife crisis.
Midlife crisis. I've got about 3 neighbours that are going through a midlife crisis at the moment. It's amazing. Yeah, no, it was very good. It was very funny.
You write, you direct, you're in it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming you're overseeing the edit and everything. So how does that work? What's the hardest bit of your job? Because you have all of the jobs really.
We have, but we really only do one show at a time. So you kind of move through production. The hardest part is just wrangling the actors on the day. We're all, I think Sam's a little bit the same. It's a little bit nutty,
Yes.
And I think we're all a little bit nutty.
A little bit nutty. Yeah. And you kind of got to read the room and go, how do you get the best out of the nutty folk?
Mm-hmm.
It's the best part and it's the most complex.
It's good advice.
And the couple with the baby in the first episode, Harriet
Dyer and Patrick Bramall.
Patrick Bramall are also a couple in real life.
They are.
Yeah.
They're a couple. They wrote that episode. Patrick, who listeners might know from Up Middle Bogan, they play with Sibylla Budd and Stephen Curry.
Wonderful.
It's an idea of friends splitting up, which when they said that idea of, most of your friends, as you get older, you just drift apart quietly. You just stop texting or stop going, should we get together?
Yeah.
They went, what happens if a couple that go to a holiday house every year, one year go, should we stop this?
Yeah.
And it's beautiful and painful.
And I love
funny
that Sibylla Budd gets the last word and like, are you okay? And Patrick's like, yeah, I think I am.
Yeah, I think this works.
I think it works. She's like, me too.
Yeah, I know. Wouldn't it be great if we could be that honest, Sam?
Absolutely.
Mate, I could
Absolutely.
Big cull at the end of most years, I would have thought. You know what I mean?
With you. Out comes the whiteboard again. Right, who's off?
I'd love to put some names up.
There's only 2 phone numbers in Sam's phone.
Just quickly, Wayne, as the boss of these productions, do you think it's right that if a character only has one line in a production that he deserves a name credit, or just like the guy in the white suit?
Well, give some
because
context
Sam, I'm just about to. Sam's a couple of times he's been in. He's had roles.
Not one of ours.
No, not one of his.
No, you haven't.
And he hasn't been credited with the lines. Do you think he deserves a full name credit if you only have one line in a production of yours?
100%.
Really?
It's not anywhere near the front of the credits. You might be buried. You've got to accept that it's a deep dive.
Yes.
It's a deep dive. It may not hit the IMDb page, but 50 words or less, we call it. 50 words or less is the official industry rule.
Oh, really?
Well, that's your new nickname. 50 words or less.
That's a great nickname.
Wayne, it's an absolute thrill to have you in. Summer Love is on iView now. Are we going to ask Wayne your
absolutely.
I don't know if you did
famous
it in
question?
2018, but even if you did, I can't remember the answer. So if
Absolutely. Or did I ask you this, Wayne? You're, of course, famous actor, amongst other things here in Australia.
It's a bad question.
How do you remember... It's a great question. It's
not.
Paid its full respect it's due. Wayne Hope, how do you remember your lines?
Oh, you don't. You spend a couple of years writing them, and then in a nervous panic, you just blurt something out, and people respond, and you go, "That'll do."
I love that bit.
Have you ever been in a scene which you've written with Robin, and then just forgotten the lines or not being able to get them out, and the other actors just said, "But what are you doing? You wrote these."
Robin boldly just confronts me and goes, "That's not the line. You wrote it, idiot." A couple of times.
Wonderful.
Watch Summer Love Wednesday, 9 p.m. on ABC and ABC
New
iView.
episodes when?
Wednesday.
Wednesday, great.
Thanks for coming in, Wayne.
Chrissie, Sam, and Brownie.
The podcast.
Good morning, Melbourne. It's Tuesday. The sun is going to be out today. Get out and enjoy it. Take some big, deep breaths and hope that you don't need an antihistamine. We're all here for you.
Yeah.
Dino, of course, is off. Jack is
He's on
in.
holiday. isn't he?
But I'm burying the lead. It's 8 o'clock on a Tuesday, and that means it's Tony Martin time.
Oh, it's good to be here. I see Jack Charles has stepped in.
Yes.
Oh, I have to say, Jack, has it been a strange week for you? Because obviously everyone's talking about the Queen passing away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But of course, Jack Charles passed away.
I know. I received many text messages, like the most text messages I've ever received in a day.
Really?
With people sending me the article. I'm like, yeah, mate, I get it. I work in the media. I'm across it.
Uncle Jack Charles, considered the godfather of Indigenous theatre.
That's right. And another person who I've worked with, we were both in a short film.
I was supposed to be in that film. I told these guys.
What film was it?
It was a film called The Last Supper. It was made by Angus Sampson.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a reenactment of The Painting.
Oh.
And Jack Charles played Christ.
Great.
It was casting, strange piece of casting, but worked for the film.
Oh, no, I think it's excellent casting.
Who'd you play?
I played whoever it is.
Judas.
The bloke who sits next to Christ in The Painting.
Yeah, Judas.
Is that? No, it wasn't Judas. I think Angus was Judas. Maybe they rejigged the seating arrangements.
I was going to say, Judas is on the end of the table.
Yeah, the end, that's right.
But I had to spend 2 days sitting next to Jack Charles, and so I heard so many stories.
I bet. He's a wonderful storyteller.
And that documentary called Bastardly about him had come out, and one of the reviews had described Jack as an unrepentant burglar. And he just loved that phrase, kept saying that. Everyone who came over and goes, "G'day, Jack Charles, unrepentant burglar."
Unrepentant burglar.
So anyway,
That's
sorry
fabulous.
to see Jack gone. But we've still got another one. There's a
Exactly.
There's always, they have branches everywhere.
I'm here.
Do you want to see what this looks like? Well, get the visuals on Instagram. Follow Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
Tony Martin is currently in the studio.
That's right. And we mentioned Jack Charles, the actor Jack Charles. You've had Wayne Hope in here.
Yeah.
You ever work with him?
I've worked, well, we're in the castle together because he's the Kerrigan brother in jail.
That's right.
And I'm the son.
God, he's good in that.
And see, I'm the son of Bud Tingwell,
Yeah.
so I'm a lawyer. So I always thought a great sequel would be me, Better Call Saul style, attempting to talk him out of prison. Never got up. But, of course, the big question is, OK, I've worked with Wayne, worked with Jack. Have I worked with the Queen? No, haven't worked with the Queen.
But?
When I was a kid in New Zealand, she did visit the country. Got about, visited the boiling mud pools, as you do.
In Rotorua. I know that it's very, culturally probably disrespectful, but that town stinks.
It does.
I could not believe how bad it smelt.
Yeah, that's exactly.
What'd you go there for, Sonny?
That's precisely what the Queen said.
It stinks so bad.
I lived there for the first 21 years of my life. Never once went to the boiling mud pools. Nobody in New Zealand has ever been to them.
Really?
They're just a diversion for tourists. But
I just don't know why you would live there. It's just surrounded by fart smell.
It is. Fartberg. That's what it is. But
Fartarua.
You didn't play exhibition games in New Zealand, did you, John?
No, I played one for premiership points.
Right.
Yeah, I played twice at Wellington Stadium, or the Cake Tin, as they call it, and on Anzac
Cake
Day.
Tin?
The Cake Tin, and we played it against St Kilda on Anzac Day.
Right, really? So this is like...
Got us over the line late.
As you know, I don't understand it.
So you didn't understand. That man just there said that
idea.
Basically, his team was struggling, but in the end...
Yeah.
I got them over the line in the end. You know what I mean? That's what he just said.
Then cut to a scene from his book. Why is there a giant pile of Jonathan Brown's book in this studio?
There's about 10 in the studio. There's 500 at reception.
It's a fire hazard.
It is a fire hazard. We've got boxes and boxes.
It's a visual reminder that we've got to give those suckers away. We should take a stack to the OB tomorrow.
It's a visual reminder for Penguin that possibly the second print was unnecessary.
It is good acoustics, though, to line your radio studio with copies of life and football.
True, and this studio needs all the help.
Marina, our office manager, asked me the other day when we move, if those boxes could just disappear, Jack. Is it okay if they just disappear?
Let's take them to the OB
How
tomorrow.
disrespectful from the godmother. I'll be taking that up on the way out today with her.
Jack replied to Marina, "I'm not a magician."
Let's take them to the OB tomorrow, I reckon.
Yes.
You want to get rid of them?
Absolute, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Is there a Nova Black Thunder that they can be given away from?
Casanova's tone. You're on the.
Of course, pardon me.
It's another station you got sacked from.
I can never keep up the Queen, but no. So I didn't. I did see the Queen drive past when I was a child, but I remember when we heard we were going to visit the Queen. I think I was probably 7, and all I'm thinking is, there's got to be an ice cream in this, surely. Surely I'll be getting an ice cream. And so everything was basically, will I be getting an ice cream out of it?
100%, and you did, surely.
Sure, I think there was a royal flavoured jelly tip, as they call it. That's a kind of ice cream in New Zealand. Here's an ice cream question for you.
Jelly tip.
Sounds like a condom.
Australia.
It does.
And I think it serves as one somehow. But here you have in Australia the battle between the cornetto
And the drumstick.
Personally, team drumstick.
Me too. I think everybody is.
What's it called in New Zealand? Here's a question for you.
The jelly tip?
The trumpet.
Really?
It's called a trumpet.
Everything's vaguely
Which one?
sexual in New Zealand.
The cornetto or the drumstick is called a trumpet?
They're both. It's just they only have one version, and it's the trumpet. Or at least they did when I was there.
The trumpet. Is it the same sort of... sometimes the typeface is the same as the existing one, the original? Is the trumpet written in the cornetto flourish?
I think we would say the cornetto is written in the trumpet
flourish. Of course
flourish.
you would, of course.
That's probably the case. What else is going on? Here's something exciting that happened to me.
Ooh.
Excitement got a puncture.
So did I.
But I don't have a phone, as you know. Oh. So that leads to a Fast and Furious style scenario because it was a puncture, but it wasn't a full puncture. It was a slightly slow puncture.
And you had to get to the tyre place.
I had to get to the tyre place via 5 servos. Because I had just enough, so I get to one servo.
What a loss.
Pump it up a little bit.
Pump it up.
Just enough to get to the next servo. Got to the 4th one. Air thing's not working. Oh, my God, is there another one in the area? Don't have a phone.
This is
I did that
amazing.
recently with Kylie's car. Absolutely. I had to stop at a couple of servos, give it a quick pump up, and then get it to the tyre place. Had a screw in it.
Could this be a Channel 9 telly movie, a la Warnie?
Absolutely.
If Stuart McGill's in the boot of your car, then maybe it would work.
So, Tony, what was the end
Finally,
game?
got there just in time, just as sparks were starting to fly from the wheel rims.
That is impressive.
Does that not make you want to buy an iPhone, though? Situations like that?
It's too late now. I've got to stick with it.
It's not too late, Tony.
Don't you think that's a new reality show, though?
Is it? What is
Don't you
it?
think that's a new reality
Tony
show?
Martin gets an iPhone.
Well, you could do
Tries
that
to
as well.
work
That
out
could be
how to
another one.
switch it on.
Celebrities, though, and you've got to get from point A to point B.
Oh, so you give
it a certain amount of petrol stations.
So a
in
number of
between
Carrie Ann
tyre.
Kennelly with a slow puncture has to make her way across Melbourne
I
to
love
Jack's
this.
Tyres.
And I can see Osher Ginsburg on the opening episode just hammering the nails in while the celebrities
These
watch.
are great ideas because I know everyone's furious about this Warnie telly movie.
Yes. Yeah.
I don't know what's going to be in it, but I've mentioned this before. I just want one scene to be in it. The scene when he commissions his famous painting.
Yeah.
The giant painting on the wall of himself with Warnie and a number of celebrities, which he designed.
That's right. Do you remember this?
With, as he put it in the clip, with himself just chilling with JFK, Bruce Springsteen and Sharon Stone.
Where is that painting now?
How were the celebrities selected?
It's fantastic.
How was... I don't know. This is what I want to see in the
This is why
telly
he wants
movie.
the biopic made.
A good 10 minutes of the film should just be about Warnie commissioning and designing this painting.
Hard agree.
Okay. Listen, this is nerd talk. Can I just say, what happened to Ask Brownie?
He was supposed to be on before 8.
Well, it keeps getting pushed back. It has to be on today, though.
Okay,
non-negotiable. It's on today.
We ran out of time.
Here we go. I've got an idea for the next segment. Let's get people to call in with... Because I'm always being asked, why was Cannonball Run 2 only released in Japan? Questions that come up on this show.
I know the answer.
When I say always, occasionally. So let's play Ask Tony.
Yes.
Call in now.
With what sort of...
With sort of questions about old films that are baffling and confusing.
This segment absolutely not
13,
endorsed.
24, 10
This
Melbourne.
segment absolutely not endorsed by the Trade Institute of Victoria.
Questions for an old nerd.
And we'll give you a copy of Jonathan Brown's Life in Football.
Oh, yeah. The phones are
Well,
going
ring anyway.
Questions for an old nerd. I love it.
This is the Chrissie, Sam and Brownie podcast.
And I know people are upset that we haven't had Ask Brownie. It's been delayed. It is coming. But in the meantime, Jack, have we got something we can fill in with?
I found something.
One aging nerd. Many questions.
Why does the third Fast and the Furious take place after the sixth one?
What exactly does a best boy do?
Have you ever bought or rented a videotape that wasn't quite right?
Have all the answers.
Is there a second Fly film?
Yeah, there is. Ask Tony.
That's one of the
Tony,
great...
what does a best boy do?
Well, he's the second in command of the lighting department to the gaffer.
He's the best boy.
That's right.
If you have
a key grip.
Well, the key grip is setting up all the camera mounts and dollies and tripods and yes.
What? Just in case you wanted to ask Tone a nerdy question about old films, now is your chance.
Have we got any? Has anyone
13,
called in?
2410.
Yeah.
No, we've got some callers. Just in
Okay.
We've got a
case,
full board, Tony.
All right.
Peter in Clayton, what is your question for Tony Martin?
Yeah, hi. This is just a question about Terminator, why he needs a pistol with a laser sighting when he is a cyborg.
No, well, that is a good question.
It is a good question.
Peter, that is a great question.
It was made in 1984, so it's, primitive technology.
Yeah.
You know, he was nude for some of it. He was having to remove his own eye with a screwdriver.
It's true.
The second one was so much better, by the way.
Yeah.
Did you think that or not as a film nerd?
Loved it at the time.
The second one?
The
The second one was amazing.
Silver melting bloke.
Tell you what, Aliens is also excellent.
Yeah.
The second Alien.
There's more aliens.
Well, that might lead
plural.
to the second caller.
Yeah.
Swanee.
Let's go.
I haven't answered that, but anyway, on we go. I think the answer was in the question, really.
Luke in Kilmore, what's your question for Tone?
I want to know, when a movie is great enough already, why make a sequel?
There you go. And we just spoken about sequels, great sequels.
Well, there's a fair bit of cash to be made, obviously. You can't be fired for... I remember there used to be a phrase in Hollywood, no one got fired for making Speed 2.
The one on the boat.
Which was an absolute disaster. It didn't have Keanu Reeves. There was no speed. There was just a boat, which appeared to be stationary for most of the film. But no one got fired because it should have worked.
May I offer another little bit more of information about sequels?
Please do.
For Luke.
Yes.
When the contracts for the first movie are signed, the producers, they always have a contingency plan of, if this is a big hit, by the way, we've got you for sequels 2 and 3. And usually the actor, unless it's a big name, kind of just says, yeah, fine. I don't have a massive choice here.
Yeah.
So they sign on for the first film. It's great. And then guess what? The producer comes and says, yeah, it was really good. We're making 2 more. And they've got them.
That's right.
Because the question is always, why do they do this, number 2? Why do they do number 3? Contractually obliged.
But then,
That's right.
Obviously, with Speed 2, Keanu Reeves had not signed. He'd obviously been given that piece of paper.
Bullock was in it, though.
That's right.
Yeah, Bullock, yeah.
They
Absolutely.
got Bullock because she was young.
We talk about sequels, like Police Academy, Mission to Moscow.
Yeah.
That was number 6. That was one of the greats.
Yeah, wouldn't you like to see one currently set in Moscow with the team, with Michael Winslow
Mahoney.
making inappropriate sound effects?
Let's go to
Can't wait. I would love that.
Richie in Geelong, what's your question for TM?
Hey, Tony, you know the movie Flying High?
Yes.
Yeah, it's also called Airplane. Which title do you reckon is the best title?
Well, it was called Airplane in America, and because it was slightly a parody of the airport films, but for some reason in Australia they went, that's going to confuse people. People are going to think that's the real airport film, so they recalled it Flying High.
Is Flying High only for Australia, or was it in New Zealand? Was it called in New Zealand?
We had Airplane.
What's the best example of a film that we know as its title, but then overseas it's called something else? Do you have any of those in your back catalogue?
Well, we made a film called Spotswood, of course.
With Anthony Hopkins what was it called?
That was called The Efficiency Expert overseas.
What?
Really?
But films are often retitled for issues of taste. And years ago, one I remember is, of course, it's a horrible thing to bring up, but the Hoddle Street Massacre.
Yes.
And there was a film coming out that week called Shoot to Kill.
Yes.
With Tom Berenger and Sidney Poitier, and they retitled it Deadly Pursuit, which still sounds quite dangerous.
It
Sounds
does.
like, was Seagal in any of those?
Seagal.
Steven
It does sound like a Seagal
Sounds
movie,
like
doesn't it?
Seagal
Sounds
movie,
like one of
in the
his.
90s.
Hard to Kill.
I've got a question for Richie from Geelong. If we could just get him back, if he's still there. Richie,
Yeah.
I want you to say, birds are dumb.
Oh, what?
Birds are dumb.
There's something about Richie's voice that reminds me of your cat from
Oh,
the podcast.
sorry, that's very hard to explain, but my cat, that is one of my
The
cats.
Chocolate Man. Yeah, the Chocolate Man.
That's right.
You sound a bit like him.
My cat. Once he's been translated, obviously,
Yes,
to
obviously
human
when he's
form.
been translated.
I'm just standing in patch of sun here, Tony.
Patch of sun.
Can you hear that or not?
Wow, that is
It
amazing.
sounds like him.
There's one of my cat's controversial opinions is that birds are dumb, and one of his ongoing obsessions is why does the patch of sun that he's sitting in keep moving away from him? I've got a fraught relationship.
I love him.
Wow, that's amazing.
This is a very good segment.
Yeah.
I could listen to you talk about old movies. Why did Cannonball Run open in Japan? Cannonball Run 2.
It wasn't up to scratch. I mean, you've seen Cannonball Run 2. It's, I don't know, they went, let's try it out in Japan.
it must be very bad.
Have you seen Cannonball Run, Brownie? Or Jack?
What do you mean?
No, I
What do you
haven't.
mean? Have I seen Cannonball Run?
Of course he has. He often
No, I
reenacts
grew
the
up with
scene
that.
with
Absolutely.
Jack Elam in the ambulance.
Yeah, how good is that? I showed that on Best on Ground. I showed that scene where they open the ambulance door and there he is, Jack. The mad doctor.
Swanee, I acknowledge we may be losing many listeners right now. I get it.
Tony,
Valet,
anything to plug
go well, listeners.
with Sizzletown?
Yes, the podcast that's available at wherever you want to hear a talking cat, it will be there.
The best.
Cheers.
Ever wondered what happens in the studio? Check out Chrissie, Sam and Brownie on Instagram.
How about some tropical stuff?
Well, Tuesday, September the 20th. A little sense of the day. Of course, the funeral was on last night, Swanee. You didn't miss a second of it. Sorry, you didn't see a second of it.
I missed that one.
Sorry about that. Brownie, did you see anything when you got home from on the couch?
I quickly flicked it on because I forgot all about it, and then I quickly flicked it on as I was going to bed about 11 o'clock, and I was just watching the slow walk towards the arches. I'm not sure what that was.
Someone to defend you. I know you're worried that you said you don't care. Just because you don't care it doesn't mean that you're not sad or whatever. It's just like when you're watching that thing last night for 4 hours, at what point do you just look at what am I watching? I don't understand what it is. By the way, I did enjoy the parts of the coverage I did enjoy, Jack, was we've been saying this for 10 days that they're crossing to presenters and all that yes, Buckingham Palace is behind you, but what's the news? Of course there's no news, do you mean?
No, there's no news.
But
there's no news that you can't deduce
half-hour package
on
every
your
night.
own with your eyes.
You know what?
Do you know what I mean? You're watching it.
We haven't actually said this, but for the last 10 days, an hour a night would have been enough. Everything that happened, just put it into an hour package and everyone watches that.
Much.
Half an hour? What do you want, a TikTok? 3 minutes, whatever. I don't care
I've
what it
said
is.
5 minutes.
All right.
They've really dragged it out.
They have, and it's resulted in things like this where Tracy Grimshaw has got nothing to say and she just... Well, have a listen.
We're just, while we're talking to you, we're looking at live pictures of we're trying to tell you who's already there. Let's go back to Carl and Ellie for a moment while we wait for another bus to turn up.
Yeah.
Thanks.
The story of our life, Tracy.
Thanks,
Story of your life for the last 10 days.
That was the equivalent of a hospital hand pass.
Well, high, too.
High.
And they're
Put
coming.
your teammate under the pump. There's about 8 opposition players about to put you in hospital.
Tracy Grimshaw's comments there reminded me of some conversations I have with my own mother, and I'll tell you how it normally goes. Play it. Just say, "Mum's." This is my mum right on the phone.
We're just, while we're talking to you, we're looking at live pictures of we're trying to tell you.
Oh, darling, it's too boring to finish.
Yeah.
And that's it. You know, you start a conversation, then you realise that you'd rather die, and the person is dying on the other end of the phone listening to it.
Anyway.
And mercifully, she says, it's too boring to finish.
The final farewell is done. The King Charles's reign of terror begins. I'm not sure.
Oh, reign of terror.
That's what he's going to do.
I don't think it's a reign of terror.
No,
is it?
they're not by looking at him, by the way.
He's had to wait a long time. I just hope that he can get a reasonable reign for his sake.
Yeah.
Because he would have been sitting there looking at his mother. He would have thought about, geez, at times maybe lacing her teeth, thinking, am I ever going to get a run at the top?
I know.
Now he's there. You just hope that it's a long, sustained run.
He's waited a long time to make his debut. He's the definition of a mature age rookie. And he's come off, and here he is.
Yeah.
He's 73.
I wonder if he still wants it.
Of course he does. Of course he does. He still wants it.
Listen, a police officer went down during the funeral.
Really?
Yeah, he fainted during the service.
Was it the same guy earlier this week or
No,
a different guy?
a different
new
guy.
one. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's about it. Justin Trudeau, has been the Canadian Prime Minister. He's been slammed for singing karaoke just hours before the Queen's funeral. He was out at a London hotel Saturday night. What about this? They say hours before. He was 2 days prior to yesterday's thing. And here's the Trudeau. That's Justin.
He's a Queen man.
Yeah.
He's got a good voice. That's a brave song to take on,
It is
Bohemian
brave.
Rhapsody.
Yes. I love that, the fact that they go on the road. Even the dignitaries, you go away for a work trip and it's all about the night out.
Yeah.
You have a crack. I remember Kevin Rudd over the strip joint in New York all those years ago when he was
Yes.
Well,
It's a proud moment.
I was going to say different to singing karaoke, or was he singing karaoke to strip
PM.
joint?
He sang Mr. Bojangles, I think.
People have
Silly
different
man.
ways of releasing tension.
John, there's some football news. some of the players' behaviour at the Brownlow has been condemned.
Really?
Well,
what a disgrace.
There was a lot. Some players were seen, drinking in celebratory fashion when their names were read out for votes. Swanee, you're upset.
Well, that's an age-old tradition.
Of
I
course.
remember.
Well, you've been there. Tell us.
All right.
What are they supposed to do?
Exactly. Right. It's a boring night. And you got to enjoy yourselves. Players have just started their off season, so it's like a bit of let off a bit of steam, Bennett, and they can. There's a little reference for you from the 80s. Is Tony Martin still there?
It's a Total Recall reference.
No, Commando.
Tony Martin just ran off the road. His car off the road.
Is it? Is it Commando?
Commando, Commando. Yeah. It was just after they filmed Predator. Commando. It's a good film as well.
You're meant to be the young one, Brownie.
They hook him onto on a steaming pipe.
That's right. Let off some steam Bennett. He was an Australian actor too, that guy. But the Brownlow medal, of course, we used to have crownies there. And then I think it was after Fev stuffed it up for everyone. Of course, there was no empty crownies because one year there was a table, there was about 50 bottles of empty crownies. So now it could only be in a glass and you could only have one per segment each person. So, we're getting a little bit too.
Lance Franklin has re-signed for another year.
Great.
You got to be careful when you read that out because famously Tim Webster on Sports Today once read out that Nathan Buckley had resigned from Collingwood. He said, no, he's re-signed.
So
1 year.
Similar those words and the opposite meaning. I'm a word nerd. I love that stuff.
Except one's got a dash.
He's extended his incredible career into his 18th season. How many did you play?
15.
Jeez, he's got you covered by a long way, hasn't he?
He does. Well, and he's still playing good footy. He's ageless.
Once again, much like yesterday, pointing out that you'd never won a Brownlow. I didn't need to, but I just want to clarify some things. Yes. He's played a lot more longer than
Buddy
you.
hasn't won a Brownlow either. Nor has any other key forward for a long, long time. Since Tony Loughnane.
There should be a special award then because
there should be.
That position shouldn't make you, technically ineligible to win.
Well, who gets the turnstiles clicking? Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
The key forwards.
The award is their salary.
Forwards, okay?
There
the marquee forwards, if you will. Okay, now...
All right, it's not fully classified, so settle down.
I'm with you 100%,
there you go.
Jonathan
Thank you,
Brown.
Christine.
Thank you, Caro. Thank you, Hutchie.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie.
One man, many questions.
Brownie, when is it okay to lie to your children?
Why, when girls run, their ponytail swings from side to side instead of back and front?
Hi, Brownie. Can you explain deja vu to me and why it happened?
Have all the answers.
I run on my face.
Ask Brownie.
Just a postscript. We did try to get a what do you call it? A specialist on to talk about deja vu. Nobody knows.
Nobody knows what it is.
The Monash expert didn't want to talk to us.
No
idea.
He's too worried that we'd punch holes in that theory on that story.
That's right. Catherine from Tyab, you've got his attention. What is your question?
Hi, Brownie. Hi, guys. So as we get older, things change in our body, obviously, but why at the age of only 42 am I already starting to look like my mum and pull things away from my eyes just to be able to read anything?
Well, I think your eyesight does start declining from 40 onwards.
Correct.
I read that somewhere recently, and I think it's something to do with the focus, the ability for your eye to take in the information and then obviously to have clarity with that information so you can see it clearly. I think as you get older, I think it's something to do with that, the focus of the eyes. I did learn something like that because when I first started playing footy, I had a depth perception problem, so I used to have to do eye exercises so my eyes would adjust to where the ball was in flight.
Is that what you're doing when you're giving me the butcher's wink?
That's right.
It's exercising.
Exactly right.
A depth perception problem.
Yeah. So
do you think that may have had something to do with the reason that you found yourself in so many situations that were
this is going to be bad.
No, that required more courage than if your eyesight was proper and you just took the ball out in front. Because of your depth perception problems, you couldn't read the ball and then you ended up in dangerous positions.
No, it was just tough, Sam. I just went when others didn't. Unlike yourself.
Listen, you sometimes go, why do you always do this, silly jokes and stuff like that? Because when I ask a serious question, that's what I get.
Yeah, I know.
So that's going to cost you.
Catherine, we're going to send you a Daniel's Dozen pack.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much.
From Daniel's Donuts.
But it's a genuine question.
It's a great question.
Your eyesight is problem.
That's the price you pay for being a fool.
You're a fool, Sam.
People's champion.
Let's go to Luke in Granville. Luke, what's your question for the big dog?
Morning, everybody. My question is, Brownie, I'm going to a grand final breakfast on Saturday. The great man Simon Black is speaking.
Man of few words.
Speaking's in inverted commas.
Is there any questions I should or shouldn't ask the great man?
Oh, great
Yeah,
question.
that is a great question. Maybe don't ask him why. Actually, you should ask him this. Do you think Casamento should have beaten you for the Norm Smith medal in 2003?
I hope you're writing this down, Luke. Great question.
I am, yeah.
Maybe don't ask him, why are you a shit dancer? Because famously, great balance. He played with, he was almost like silk, the great Simon Black.
Yeah.
But put him on a dance floor late in the night, 2 left feet.
Really?
And he hates that.
Really? Is he sort of stompy?
He's stompy, just all over the shop. He rolls right up at it too because he thinks he's got a bit of he's got some moves. So maybe stay away from that, Lukey.
Why don't you ask him why he hasn't changed his hairstyle in 20, 25 years?
Maybe
He's so happy with it.
He is too. He loves it. He's got a great rig too. Still got an amazing rig. Holds up magnificently. Ask him
to take
why
his
he
top
didn't. Yeah, ask him to take his top off and why he didn't say anything for 8 weeks of Survivor. Remember that?
Luke, what are you going to ask him at the moment before you're taking the tips from Brownie?
Look, to be honest, this is all I've got at the moment. I'm relying on you guys, so...
Well, I think you've got a lot of material there, Luke.
Yeah, no, I've got plenty. That's fine. That's great. I'm sure there's other people with some other questions and stuff, but that's some great work. Thank you.
So the event's not, depending on you too much, Luke, if you're not
Luke,
around it,
a Daniel's dozen pack from Daniel's Donuts for you. Good luck with the event tomorrow.
Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Ripper Show will be back tomorrow. Chrissie, Sam and Brownie. Oh, unless it's a weekend.
Over 100.